GTA San Andreas are doing the collectibles, the oyster locations, 23 through 39, AA gamer for life. Okay, so in the previous videos I mentioned why I'm doing this in the beginning part of the game. To collect all the oysters in the beginning. It just makes your life a lot easier when it comes to dating the women. Plus, it's a nice chunk of money. I get a lot of benefits from it. I'm working on my stamina, my lung capacity, all that. So, like I mentioned, when you do collect all the oysters and you get you get max sex appeal, but your bar doesn't fill up all the way, but you do get max sex appeal. And the benefit from that is that when you date the women, you get them to be your girlfriend. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to get fat, get skinny, wear certain clothes, whatever. You just walk up to them and they will automatically ask you for your number, and bam, they are your girlfriend. Okay, so that was number 23. And by the end of this video, well, midway through, we'll be collecting several of the oysters, and we won't have a wanted level. And then the very last oyster, number 39, will be in a wanted level area again. So the next video will be the last 11 oysters around Los Santos, and we will not have to be worrying about a wanted level anymore. So as you can see, my lung capacity is almost full. And that's, I like having all my abilities maxed out. Before I even play the game, I have all my weapons at Hitman level. It's just one gamer's way of playing. I just like having all my stats maxed out. I've read on forums, and I haven't seen any videos or anything like that, but I have read that people have done the Snapshots and Horseshoes in the beginning part of the game as well, doing that under a wanted level, and I just don't see the upside to that. But that's the beauty part of the game. Whatever a gamer wants to do, they can do. It's an old game, so I find a nice challenge at it doing this, but it's also pretty lengthy. It took me 4 or 5 hours. I mean, you can only get a few oysters before you're wasted, and then you wind up back at the hospital in Los Santos, and you gotta drive back up to North Palomino Creek and get to the boat and all that. But the upside to that is that it's a chance to build your driving skills. There's a lot of driving to get back and forth to that boat, and like I said, you can see my lung capacity is almost full. And the end result will be that you get a nice chunk of money for all the oysters and get max sex appeal. So, like every time I get to an area, I go right up to the girl. When I made it to, when you get the green saber done, the area is it's not restricted, but you can buy the houses out in Palomino Creek and the northern area of Los Santos. And then that Helen chick is there. I don't know, she might be there before that. I never actually did that. I was just there and I saw her up there shooting, so I just walked up to her and she's just, hey, can I have your number? And I'm like, yep. And then when I made it out to San Fierro, I walked right up to Katie, and same thing. She's like, hey, can I get your number? And, so Helena has got a shed that has some weapons in it. And unfortunately, the weapons are just nothing that's really that great. I think she's got a flamethrower and a chainsaw in there. And I don't know, those weapons don't do nothing for me. Now, if she had a minigun and a Desert Eagle or something like that in there, I would have been like up in there all the time. The minigun is like one of my favorite heavy weapons, and it's also the hardest to get too. So, don't really care for the rocket launcher. Don't use the heat-seeking rocket launcher all that much either. But big fan of the minigun. It's my favorite heavy weapon out of the game, and it's also the hardest to get. There's a parking garage in Los Venturas that you can get to. You just drive down there and pick it up. But obviously, at this point in the game, you're going to have 4 stars, so getting there and back is not an easy thing to do. And there's one in San Fierro on top of a bridge pillar that you need a helicopter to get. So you actually need to open up the desert in order to get to it. So that kind of sucks. But, you know, whatever. Getting the minigun is not really an issue. It's just kind of time consuming. You can only get 200 rounds for every time you collect it. So, you know, when I do a vigilante, I like to have at least, 12, 1,400 rounds. I also like having the minigun when I'm taking over gang territories as well. It definitely makes quick work of taking over territories. So
we got a clear visual on suspects and are about to open fire.
Alright, chipping away at these oysters. Okay, so I believe that's going to be the last of them in this northern area. Now it would be like north of Whetstone, through the riverbeds and all that. But it's still under a wanted level. Okay, I tried making it here before, but I couldn't make it. Okay, so I actually got wasted, got the boat, drove back around. Now I'm gonna get this oyster. So we're going to just keep following the direction this water path takes us. Right there's like a little wooden bridge. So we're going to head down there and get the oyster in there. I remember when I first played the game and I would come across the women, and I believe Helena, you needed to have like under 20% of muscle, so you really needed to be real skinny. And I believe I was like maxed out on muscle, so I'm like, man, you know, I had to go ride the bicycle, and it took me a while to lose that, and I was like, man, this is a real hassle. So this is why I do the oysters in the beginning part of the game. Go through all the trouble. Like I said, just makes your life really easy when it comes to dating the women. They just become your girlfriend right off the bat. You don't have to wear any certain clothes, whatever. They just dig you the way you are, and super easy to get them to max out. I mean, you still have to play the game. You got to take them to food, make sure you take them to the right restaurants, and you know, when you go dancing, you need to have a certain amount of points when you go dancing and all that kind of stuff. And there goes my boat. I only had one more oyster under a 4-star level. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it. Alright, so obviously you can see that I'm back at the boat. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow this waterway through the northern, Red County, Palomino Creek, all that. And then the last one will be the one where I was trying to get to before I got wasted. And then that'll be number 39. And that'll be the last of them under a wanted level. So the next 11 will be easy peasy. And then I'll have all the oysters done and it'll be time to move on. And I think I'll be going off to do the spray tags then. Okay, so by now CJ's lung capacity is at maximum. He's building up some muscle, and his stamina's got to be close to being maxed out as well. And all you want to do is make sure that you eat some. Make sure that you got a little bit of fat on you so that can turn into muscle. But it's definitely nice being able to collect these oysters without having a water level going. Just grab a boat and get to it. That safe house right there, Palomino Creek, when it becomes available after the Green Saber, I believe it is, to open, then getting the minigun's a little bit easier because you can use that safe house. So you can get up there, save your game, cross the water, get your armor. You should be able to pick up the minigun and then drive back to that dock again and just use the boat to get across the water and get up to that thing. So you don't have to just go up there and then pick up the minigun and get wasted. You can actually make it back. Prior to that, because I got my game set up the way it's set up, I keep my weapons when I get wasted. So before Palomino Creek is open to buy that safe house, I would just go up there, get the minigun, and just shoot as many cops as I could with the pistol to get my pistol level started towards hitman level, and just get wasted. And then I would wind up back in Los Santos and head back up to the dock, get the boat, cross the water, and head back up there to get the minigun again. That's the thing. This is a pretty large open world, and when it came out in '04, the technology isn't like it is today, obviously, but they got these like the courier and the truck driving, and they become assets, and the money's the money, but the thing is that you never find yourself back at those particular spots to collect the money. Like the truck driver, I mean, once you've got Helena's dating at 100%, it's real rare for you to go back there to go date her again or to be by that truck driving place to go collect the money. So that kind of sucks compared to like Saints Row, where your money was just at your crib. You collected it from your safe and that kind of thing. And then later in Saints Row 3, when they basically, it was all done through the phone. But, you know, whatever. It's just the way it is. Normally by that time you're making pretty good money from some of the missions, and you've done a lot of the side stuff. And so money's not really an issue where you would need to backtrack to an asset place just to collect, you know, $3,000 or $4,000. But you know, if I'm there or close to it, I will definitely swing by and get my money because I put a lot of work in. So you know, a brother wants to get paid for sure. Okay, so we're getting down to the nitty gritty with these oysters, and I'm loving that. Thank God there was only 50 of them. I remember when the game first came out and I had to do 100 tags. I was like, oh my God, 100, jeez. But the you know, one of the upsides to the game is that you know, you can camp on it for a while, you know, to do a lot of the side stuff and the missions and all that. There's quite a few missions, and there's a lot of, you know, extra stuff to do to, you know, keep you in the game. You know, like collecting the oysters, spraying the tags, the snapshots, the horseshoes, and all the challenges and all the other things. I mean, like the Mount Chili, the mountain bike thing. I mean, they were pretty challenging to do for sure. All right, so this was the last oyster on the other side of this water, and obviously it puts a water level on you. And I got lucky; I was able to get it just in time before I got wasted. But this is the last of all the water level oysters, and it's right there. And I'm like, let me get this before I get shot up. Nice. So that's it. Next 11, get the 50 oysters. If you like the videos, you can always support us by checking out the ads.